van life in the UK is nothing like Europe, and most people don't even know why.
The thing about Europe is you can find airs and park-ups all over the place. It's so welcoming, it's so easy, it feels welcoming because it's so easy.
So why are we just suddenly bringing this up again about this Europe UK difference? Well, the reason we're bringing it up again is because we rocked up in Lytham St Annes, and we couldn't believe it. We've used Lytham St Annes as a staple park up for years. The amount of money we must have spent in that town over the years is just insane. We didn't film the actual location because you know when you're flustered and you're just trying to get around the place. So yeah, Lytham St Annes.
Not happy.
Not happy.
Not happy at all. Never seen any problems, excuse me, yet again, got something wrong with me, got a bit of a cough now. We've never seen any issues on that park up. There've been no problems. It's not even like overrun with campers. You get sort of 2 or 3. Sometimes in summer you might get a little bit more, might you? You might get maybe 4 or 5, but it's quite a long road that a lot of people park on, and there's various different park ups there, and every single one of them, it's not even that they're charging, it's just a blanket no.
Just a blanket no, and it's the sign, so it's not the blue no overnight parking signs, it's our old little friend from Scarborough that says specifically no motorhome and camper vans. It's exactly the same signs. And yeah, it's just a shame, innit, because like there were literally nowhere to park, and so we didn't spend any money.
No.
We had all intention of going to Litham St Annes, from the Lake District to Lytham St Annes, and yeah, spending some money. We were going to eat out, and then we planned to go for a few drinks after, and we couldn't do any of that.
Nope.
So we basically moved on. We're in a lay-by now tonight, and it's pitch black outside. But yeah, welcome to your Fireside Friday, and that's the reason why we suddenly got talking about like Europe and stuff. Obviously, we're looking forward to summer, aren't we? And going back to
It's not
Spain.
even the words, Reese. Looking forward is not the word.
Not the right word. And it just got us talking about the differences between the UK and Europe. So the UK, as I always say, is easy. You know, you've got laybys, you've got pub stopovers, you've got wild park ups. You know, we've covered that in various different vlogs. But the thing that the UK is difficult for is parking in towns.
Yeah, and I think it's a thing of people misunderstand. So it's not that you can't park anywhere in the UK, because you can, plenty of places to park. But it's that you're not welcomed in certain places. Like there's very few places where you're welcome to go and park up, especially, like you said, near a town centre or anything like that.
You can easily, like if you saw the Lake District episode, you can easily go out in the wild and park up. You can find a lay-by like we're in tonight and park up. Like that's where van life is easy in the UK. But try going into certain towns to spend your money.
and you're actually kind of, you're not just excluded from it sort of during the evening. A lot of it as well, you're excluded from it like across the board, you know, because there's a lot of places where you can't even park during the day. There's a lot of height barriers to get into certain car parks and stuff, so you can't park during the day. And then if you did decide, oh, well, what we'll do, we'll stay in a B&B for tonight, we'll do that as a change, you know, you can't park your vehicle anywhere.
No, because it still says you can't park up.
It's not that you're not allowed to sleep in it, you're just not allowed to park in it. It's just...
There is a little grey clause, a little grey area, which for now what I'll say is I'm playing with the idea of this grey area. For us specifically, but we'll talk about that in another vlog. But Europe is just so welcoming. When we say Europe, we're specifically talking about France, Spain and Portugal. Although Italy, Germany, Luxembourg, Belgium, even Switzerland, we're easy.
Yeah.
But France, Spain and Portugal specifically, like you arrive in France, and if you've been to France and you're used to going to Europe, you'll know this. And if you haven't been to Europe, it might come as a bit of a surprise that when you get to France, it is just one after the other, after the other. Every single... I don't think I've ever come across a French town or village that hasn't had a blue motorhome camper van symbol that they put on airs. But the airs in Europe are usually 9 times out of 10 free.
Yeah.
Unless it's a really, really posh air, and then it might be a small minimal fee.
Even
but
when they're dead
you
posh,
feel welcome.
Though, you pay. Even when you've got a bar there, we've vlogged some of these where you've got a bar, you've got a swimming pool. Don't let Lenny go out.
Oh, don't you worry.
Might need to open that bottom bit a bit. Hey up, priorities, you know. But yeah, even when we've been to some, we've vlogged them where you've got a swimming pool, you've got a bar, you've got all sorts. And the only thing you're paying for is maybe like £1 to go in the swimming pool the next day, or a couple of pounds for the swimming pool, and that's been it. And there's nothing else to, like, you don't pay for it. She's getting annoyed with me. She's had a vegetarian dinner and she's not happy about it in the slightest. She wants some meat. You'll have to wait. I've got to buy you some more. You're going to have to wait.
Yeah, it is with Europe. It's every single... We're not exaggerating here. You know us, like, we won't say something for the sake of saying it. And it is every single place in Europe, every single town, every single village.
It's really easy. I mean, Portugal's a little bit more difficult. They don't seem to have as many airs since they did the ban, because they had a ban, didn't they, for a while?
Years ago. But even Portugal, like, you drive over that bridge and it sort of says, welcome to the Algarve, as you go in through the southern kind of entrance to Portugal. And you literally, the first village has got placed immediately, a specific place for motorhomes and camper vans. We've filmed it before, and it's just a lovely place, is that, to start off your Portuguese adventure.
It's just nice when you're driving over there, and as soon as you get there, that thing about where do we want to go and where do we want to park, because that's the difference with the UK. You might be going, I want to go to so and so, but I can't park there, so I need to park here, and then find somewhere to park during the day and then go back out on the evening. You've got things to think about. You go over to like France, Spain, Portugal, like you said, even all the other countries we visited, and you don't have that thing to think about. It's gone. You're just like, I want to go here, I'll just go there. You know, it's just gone. That worry is completely and utterly gone. And it's so nice, isn't it?
It is. It's just lovely. And that's the thing, is the perception, how people view. If you say to somebody, and try this in your own travels if you've got a van, tell people that you live in a camper van, and the attitude is, really? Beer? Which is nothing wrong with that per se, but then try it when you go to France, and either they go, all right, okay, whatever, or there's this, oh really, wow,
yeah,
like, you know, even that police officer that time, they were like, wow, you live in a camper van.
And so we've had that happen a few times, haven't we?
The attitudes and the perception of van life and travellers and camper vans and things like that in Europe is completely different, and it just got us talking about Europe again, didn't it?
Well, I think the massive difference for us when we when we first went over, and we were over in Europe. I think we were in France, and then the police were driving around, and we were panicking. We were like, oh, we're going to get moved on. We're going to, you know, here we go, you know, but what's going to happen? And we're going to get into trouble. We're going to get fined, you know. And they were actually knocked on all the doors, and they were just checking that you were okay. That's what they were doing. They were coming round. Is everything all right? Do you need anything? Are you okay? And all the police that we've come across in France, in Spain, we've never, ever, ever had an issue with them. They're actually more interested in having a look at your camper van. One that we met when the van got broken into, he was like, oh, did you see my camper van outside? Come outside and have a look at it, and took me outside to show him it. Can't remember what his name was now, but yeah, he was a really nice guy. And then we've had a couple more instances where we've come into contact. Like last time, we had police where we'd sort of pulled over somewhere, and we'd gone down to this beach that, by the end of it, we realised we shouldn't have gone down onto, because it were like kind of quicksandy stuff. And they were more interested in, like, my son were with us at the time, playing music, and the music's great. It's, you know, there's just never.
It is, and it's just the attitude, but it is. Can't emphasise this enough, really. Like, and as you can see, it's something we're quite passionate about, is the fact that the UK is beautiful. It is. It's absolutely stunning, and it is easy for van life, as I say, you know, for park-ups, but trying to visit a town, and that's the difference. And it just, I couldn't believe Lytham St Annes, of all places. Like, why?
There were just nowhere in Lytham St Annes at all.
You couldn't even pay for it, I don't think, could you?
No, you had to go out of Lytham St Annes, because we drove up to St Annes, and then that's when we've driven out to come to the lay-by.
Yeah, St Annes is all right.
But St Annes you could park, but only if you paid, and it was £15 a night, and that's not cheap.
No facilities either.
No, just £15 a night, and that ain't cheap, you know. And I just think that's not very fair. You know, there are some places, and we've said this before, there are some that are leading the way, aren't there? You know, you've got Shropshire.
Yeah, massively. Shropshire.
Leading the way with it, you know.
Skipton Council Car Park.
And you just
Bradford have put on 3 3 car parks throughout Bradford that you can park in. There are councils throughout the country that are really giving it some and really going, yep, we are welcoming you.
And some that have not particularly welcomed you as such per se, but they've not banned you either. Do you know, they're just kind of like, you park there, you pay whatever. You know, they've got an overnight parking thing. There's nothing to say you can't sleep in your vehicles, nothing to say that motorhomes and camper vans aren't allowed. It's, you know, it's just a case of it's just the parking that's always been. And so there are some that are leading the way or not causing an issue. But then there are just so many more. I'm hoping, you know, that Scarborough's going to be one of them in this turnaround, hopefully, when that finally comes about, that they are going to be the ones that will lead the way. I'm hoping they're going to do that U-turn and they're going to lead the way into it. She's really annoyed because she hasn't.
Are you annoyed? So yeah, for your Fireside Friday. So if you're new here, we're Emma and Reese, and this is little Daisy, this naughty little potato.
She's really grumpy today.
And we travel all over the UK and Europe in this camper van called Romany. And so Fridays we do all stuff talking about van life and van life topics and things like that in front of little Lenny, our little burner. And then Tuesdays are for travel, aren't they? Yeah, Tuesdays we travel and explore.
Travelling Tuesdays.
So we were like, what are we going to talk about on Friday? And then because we'd been to Lytham St Annes, we were like, that's getting discussed on Friday, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just because it's one of them things where you feel quite passionate about, and it's something we get asked about a lot, you know, and it's kind of going a little bit back to this solo van life stuff as well. You know, obviously there's been an awful lot in the media over the last few years about women's safety, things like that. You know, not that, and I'm a big advocate for the fact that men can feel just as unsafe as women can feel unsafe. You know, I just think that I don't think it's particularly something that's necessarily gendered, but I do think that there's been a big kind of force in the media about women's safety, and you know, you do, you know, on average, I think, tend to feel a little bit more insecure if you're somewhere by yourself as a woman on an evening. You know, you do tend to feel a little bit more cautious, maybe is the word, and we have to think about more things maybe about our safety that I think's coming to light a bit more as well. And I just think with this park up thing, if we really are pushing for that, then shouldn't we be pushing for it across the board, across every walk of life? Shouldn't we be saying that women who are in vans, solo van lifers that are female, should also be safe? Do you know, and therefore being in a car park where you are safe, where it's lit, where you know you're okay, you know, isn't that better? You know, and you can have that thing that, like, that's the thing with Europe, is that they can go around, and yes, obviously you get people that park in different places, like on beachfronts or out in nature or whatever, but they know where the majority of their van lifers are in France and Spain. They know that in the airs.
And you don't really need to obviously wild camping in France and Spain, you know, stealth parking, free parking, whatever you want to call it, is beautiful. But you don't actually need to do that. We rarely do that in France and Spain and Portugal because there's so many options. The whatever they call them over there, the councils put on for you that you don't really need to. You pull up into a village or a town and it's there for you.
And that gives the Guardia the option of knowing, you know, their Guardia, their police, it gives them the option of knowing where you're parked, so they can come round and they can do checks and they can make sure you're safe. If we had that here, it'd be better, wouldn't it? Because our police could do like I mean, I suppose our equivalent of Guardia would be like, what do they call them?
Community support officers.
That's the ones, isn't it? Is that what they're called? Is that, I can't remember what they're called. Yeah, because their Guardian and police, they've got 2 different levels.
Yeah, we don't really have
that same thing, do we? But you know, you could have your community officers, for example, could go around and could check those areas and make sure everybody's okay and everybody's safe. And you know, I just think it's safety across the board, isn't it? And you know, some people do feel safer parking in a car park.
So yeah, that's basically.
It's annoyed me.
It's really annoyed Emma. It's really annoyed Emma. If you're new here, we don't ever rant.
I know, but we've had like a few ranty. We've got to stop ranting.
I know we have, because we don't rant. We're very positive people.
We're going to be called a rant in the van, not a Fireside Friday.
It's not. I don't like any ranting or complaining of anything at all. It was just that we were like, what we're going to talk about.
I think it's more a comparison than a rant, though, isn't it? Because it's just about saying there are places that are doing that in UK, and why don't everybody jump on board with it?
That's the thing. That's the thing. The UK and the UK, I've got so much to learn from Europe on a number of fronts. But in terms of van life, it's got so much to learn of how the European way of welcoming van lifers and I want to say dealing with van lifers, but that makes us sound like a problem, and we're only a problem if we're using public taps, which we don't do when we're in Europe. But how they respond to us is the word I'm looking for. How France, Spain, Portugal and the other European countries respond to people in vans that are living in vans is completely different, and the UK has a lot to learn from Europe with that. It is getting there, like, which is why we're so
Europe
positive.
Sees us
it is
as
getting
an
there
asset.
in the UK.
That's the difference. Europe sees you
Yeah,
as
it's
an
a
asset.
tourism industry
You
and
know,
all
yeah,
that,
they
innit?
see you as an asset, and I think we haven't quite got to that yet in the UK. And
yeah,
I think
it's more of an attitude of we don't need them.
Yeah.
You know, like Lytham St Annes, it's like, well, the tourists will come anyway. We don't need you to come in your
Yeah.
vans.
But in off season, do you know, we drive, like you saw on the Scarborough video, we drive down and it's completely,
Yeah, it's
like
dead,
there's
innit?
nobody
It's
there
quiet.
at all. And so in off season, you can really take like kind of advantage of the fact that you've got people coming in vans. And I just think that it's how you're being seen can really change. It could turn around, couldn't it? Because
definitely,
in Europe,
and it is doing
Europe
slowly.
do buy you from parking, especially at height of season. If you go to like coastal areas in Spain, a lot of them will say no parking at beaches
on the beach,
and stuff.
which is fair enough.
You know, or even like across the beach front, like on the not actually on the beach, but on the beach front. But they provide an
that's the difference. Europe providing all
the thing.
and it's more of an attitude of please don't park here, but here's your option. As well in the UK, in some places, not all places, it seems to be we don't want you here at all, and there's no option.
In Europe, you've got free toilet emptying facilities.
Free toilet,
you've got
everywhere.
Free water.
Yeah. Oh, I'm glad you've started. Now we've started.
Sometimes you have free electricity as well.
You do.
If you've got hook up.
Honestly, like if you've been to Europe, as I say, you'll be sat there nodding your head in agreement. And if you haven't been to Europe, you'll be going, really? Because it is. I always say, and you know, it is serious. Is this because Europe is like a custard cream, and the UK, it's not like the UK is no biscuit at all. It's like a Jaffa cake. Do you know what I mean? It's like that. The UK is incredible, but Europe's like that. And the reason that it's custard cream is because every single petrol station, or most petrol stations out there, you can fill up your water, you can empty your toilet, and it's like €1 to fill up your water, or €1 to empty your toilet. €1. As we're here, you're ringing up asking campsites, and they're like, yeah, it's going to cost you £7 or whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, just as a silly example, but there are so many things with Europe where van life's easier, and so you're absolutely right. It's not just the park ups. It's that literally every single town, every single motorway service station will 100% have somewhere for you to empty your toilet. And if you haven't watched our European adventures, go back and watch them, because obviously there's too much footage to put as overlays and stuff in this video. And of course we'll be going to Europe this year as well, so catch us on that adventure. But it just got us thinking, didn't it, where it was just like, wow. Like,
and it's warmer.
But yeah, I think it's just been a bit of a weird episode, hasn't it, this? It's been a bit of a weird Fireside Friday, but something to bear in mind if you're thinking of buying a van and you're thinking, what am I going to do? You know, Europe's an option. Yes, you can only stay there for 3 months because of the Brexit thing, which I'm sure a lot of us have got an opinion on that. But if you're thinking, you know, you're in a position where you've got a camper van, you want to travel, head to Europe, head to France, head to Spain. Yes, the UK is epic, as we show pretty much week in, week out, how easy it is in the UK for van life. But yeah, definitely get yourselves over to Europe, and your mind will just go boom. You'll just be absolutely blown away.
Morocco's meant to be quite good, and we want to do that, don't we?
Yeah,
we've been told that's
and there's a few of them over there. Andy from our Van Sales that I sometimes mention. Andy's great, and he's over in Morocco. And then Ashley, who's just sort of started her channel. She's over there, I think, with Andy, and so there's like this convoy going on through Morocco.
Teaming up.
Everybody's teaming up. I think there's about 20 of them over there now. Hi Andy, if you're watching. But yeah, like, you know, so Morocco's meant to be great.
I think there's just certain things in the UK where it just don't make any sense to me. It's like if you all went out in your car to go meet your mates, so like, I don't know, your mum and dad go in their car and you go in your car and your friends go in their car and you all meet up at car park and you all go out for a bit of lunch, that's all okay. But if you do that in 3 vans, it's not okay suddenly. It's, you know, suddenly there's laws against it. It's madness, isn't it? You know, if you're staying overnight, like if you're in the day, you don't get no trouble for it. But if you stay overnight, then suddenly you're in trouble. So it's like, you're okay to all meet up during the day and go out for coffee, but then if you all stay in the same place at the same, if you were staying in a B&B, that'd be fine, but not in your van. There's just some stuff that need to change.
And if you're thinking, oh, you know, I can't go to Europe, I promise you, we both promise you, the UK is easy. It's just specifically certain towns when you're trying to park up in certain towns. That's what this video is about. If you're happy to wild camp and look through our videos and see the endless places, as we always say on this channel, then you're absolutely fine. Yeah, so talking of Europe, we are going back to Europe, obviously, this year. And I suppose what I don't want is for this video to come across as, well, if you don't like the UK, then go. Number one, we can't do that because Mr. Starmer said we can't. Well, no, actually, what he said is if you don't like England, get yourself off. But you can't get yourself off because you're only allowed to spend 3 months at a time. But anyway, we're not going to get political or ranty about that. But we are going to go to Europe. Ireland is on the cards, which we're really excited about. Daisy especially is excited about that. Aren't you, Daisy? Do you want to go to Ireland? Do you want to go to Ireland? Yeah. She's like, are we going, Mum? Are we going?
Just thinks it's a new form of chicken that you're telling me about.
anything that you say to her, she thinks she's going to get fed. But yeah, so we're really excited about that. And it is not a thing of the UK is not good, because it is. It's epic. As we show, as I say, week in, week out, we show how epic the UK is and how easy it is to park a camper van in the UK. For free or very little money, and we've covered that. You know, we've covered it. If you haven't seen that, it's what's that video called? We've recently put out. They say Vanlife is in. I'll put a link at the end, and it shows you all the places you can park up in the UK. That's not what this video is about. What it's been about, this Fireside Friday, is just about towns in particular, and how easy Europe is compared to towns, and even the cities in Europe. Even the cities.
I can't stop laughing at Daisy, she's sneezing. Someone's made a sneeze. What's made you sneeze? What? I'm meant to be doing this seriously, we did her. And I can't concentrate.
Us being serious.
Because she's sneezing.
But yeah, it's mainly the towns and the cities that we're talking about here, and you know, just the difference in Europe. It's not that one's bad and the other isn't, it's just different. And the roads are obviously like a racetrack, as smooth as anything in Europe. Come on to rant this Fireside Friday.
What are we doing next?
This Fireside Friday.
What can they expect next
week?
Well,
on Tuesday, we're going to a place that literally every single person is telling us not to go. Phoned my mate the other day, and I'm like, told him where we were going, and he's like, you can't go there. Why are you going there? And I'm like, no, it'll be good. And he's like, it really won't be good. It used to be good, but it won't be good.
I don't even know actually where we're going yet, because he just keeps telling me it's a place that like nobody wants to go.
Nobody wants to go, but I think it'll be epic. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I know it's not been your usual funny, bantery Fireside Friday, but it's something we get asked all the time. Is, you know, how is Europe different? Is Europe different to the UK for van life? We get asked constantly, so we wanted to just make a little video about it to answer that question.
Answer that question. We're all about answering questions. We're all about answering the questions and giving people the knowledge.
Knowledge from us two clowns.
Knowledge and
expertise.
Wisdom. We're all about the wisdom on this channel.
Stop it. We'll see you on Tuesday for this place that nobody wants to visit. Thank you so much for watching, and until then, keep writing your own story.
Bye.